Whoa, 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 whoa. Who the hell is this guy? Why is he gonna be talking about Counter-Strike Global Offensive? Well, I'm just a fan actually. In fact, in love with it. Started playing 2018. Now invested in the pro scene. Time-wise though, not financially. We don't really have money. Now let's shut up and go CS. So, the ESL Pro League Season 14 2021 is the first tournament after the so-called tournament break, when the people in the scene know it's just the same as Tier 1 player break. Even though I've heard prominent names say that EPL isn't as important as much as other tournaments, and the issues with closed circuits, this should mean a lot to many of the participating teams. Let's go over them by their respective groups in alphabetical order. But first, what's the format here? Group stage has 6 teams per group, all of which will match up against one another. That's called round robin, and the top 3 will get a spot in the playoffs, where the top of the group will go straight to the quarterfinals, and the second and third placers will be fighting it off with other teams in the round of 12. Got it? Got it? Good. Group A. Astralis, the Legends, the Masters, the Trendsetters. Dupree, Glaive, Magisk, and Bubsky stay. Sipnik has been replaced by the Danish Opera Lucky, despite being a good team performer if not the best during the previous IEM Cologne. He's benched, but whatever, potato. I think Sipnik's having a good time just playing golf, and yes, let's just get over the fact that Diaz has left them. They had a decent run in Cologne, which kinda gave us hope that they would surely at least make it through the groups, but they didn't. They defeated Spirit in a convincing fashion and of course beaten the NA Group A represent Bad News Bears. But anything from that, they got 2-0'd by Vitality, Heroic, and ENCE, which happened to be the 3 teams that made it through this group. Magisk and Bubsky just weren't being the best most of the time. Lucky, the new Opera, first chance at the top of the game, played well for a first timer. He did his part and even got some sick shots and clutches, but the team just seemed disproportionate against the teams they were defeated by. Mentioning BNB, well, they're unfortunately the loser of this group, having no wins and not even getting a single map. Being an NA-based roster which currently, in the general scope, just doesn't match up to the highest of standards in CSGO right now. To their defense, Group A was definitely star-studded, I would say, organization-wise. ENCE, after all the drama during the Alu interview in HLTV confirmed, they managed to show up in the group stage with their fairly new lineup. Personally, they've just had to really win against Astralis here. This matchup was literally where it came down to who will have the third spot because Spirit and Bad News Bears just weren't present in the cage of groups. They were able to take a map off of Heroic and the other 2 maps were so close and competitive. And the only other team who was able to get a map against Heroic was Vitality. And yeah, Vitality and ENCE owned the second and third spots respectively. So, Heroic, they didn't do super well in Cologne. They did fine. And them getting to the top spot undefeated here in EPL Online just unfortunately stabilizes the stereotype of being onliners. But I guess they shouldn't be labeled that, because these teams have their days in tournaments. If they fucked up in Cologne, they won't continue to fuck up in EPL. They're gonna want to stand and do better, which they just did. They only lost the map to the aforementioned second and third placers in Group A. Stown just showed what they can do with Cadian being Cadian and his weird calls and pushes. All seems well for this Heroic squad going forward, I guess. But they really should fix that issue with their coach. Spirit, on the other hand, I think has so much talent in their roster. Mir's a beast, Magisk can step up a lot, Samdayang is just an overall good player. These guys just need to work out how they're gonna play as a team and how to change the momentum to their favor. On Ancient, the decider map against Astralis, they had the lead on CT side, 6-3. On round 11, even though Magisk gets the opener, they still proceeded to push, where he was immediately traded. They then had poor late rotates and they lost the round, and the map in series finished 16-7 for Astralis. They only got 1 round after that. Them leaving Ancient and overpassing the map vetoes made sense because they were afraid of having Nuke as the decider map against Astralis, but still, I think if they weren't comfortable in Ancient, they shouldn't leave it in the choices because that's what the map match showed. They weren't comfortable at all. Vitality got through the play-ins in Cologne a bit shaky, and was just reinforced with their defeat against then champions Na'Vi. Going into EPL, they weren't entirely favored to win much, though they were expected to get through the groups. In an unexpected way, they toughed out their previous fails and we got exceptional performances from the in-game leader Apex. They did so well and honestly, There's nothing much to break down except maybe for the need to give Zaiwu better chances for his role in the team. The youngsters Misuda and Kyojin have to be explosive as there seem to be a rules show, and Shocks did really well doing his job as the lurk and finisher of the rounds. All in all, I would summarize Group A with one word: preparation. These teams all had good reasons to be better, and they all also had their reasons why they might not show up. But the teams that did their homework and did their best in the matches, despite their own struggles, with outstanding individual performances when needed the most, won. And as sad as it is to say for Astralis fans, the winners deserved their wins here in Group A.